If you come from Canada, I learned this the hard way after losing all that money on that exchange rate. You do not have to purchase US dollars and then come here. Hi guys, hello. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Francine, and here on this channel, it's all about travel and lifestyle. I recently relocated to the Dominican Republic. In particular, I am staying in Punta Cana. Now, the objective is to travel within the country and discover other places. You know, there's a lot of other cities that I would like to go and visit. While I've relocated, I've had to learn to navigate and learn a lot of things. And I've been here going on 4 weeks, and I have learned a lot. Okay, so this is my 4th Saturday here, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at the calendar. Calendar will tell me. 1, 2, 3. Yes, this is my 4th Saturday here. So with that being said, there's a few things that I've learned. If you're considering relocating anywhere, the most important thing is accommodations and finding somewhere to live. So that's what this video is all about. Finding accommodations and a place to call your home while you're living abroad. Now, before I actually get into just the details, because I'm going to touch on research and planning, I'm going to talk about neighborhood selection, apartment hunting tips, and the rental process, cost consideration, cultural and practical tips, and then my closing remarks, okay? So with that being said, let me just give you a brief overview of just my experience being here for this amount of time. I came to Punta Cana in April of this year, and I lived here for just a month. Now, that situation was a little bit different because I actually stayed in an Airbnb. Renting an Airbnb for 30 days, not a problem, not a big deal. If you rent an Airbnb for more than a certain amount of days, they do give you a discount of some sort. Every host is different. They do it based maybe after 15 days or after 20 days. I got a discount because I was staying for an extended period of time. So anything past a certain amount of days, they consider it an extended stay, and they give you a discount. You can see the breakdown when you actually go to reserve. So that's short-term rental, okay? Short-term rental versus long-term rental. Short-term rental is anything less than 6 months. Now, some places would consider 12 months as long-term, and they won't accept anything less than that. So they want to sign a lease for a minimum of 12 months, a year. However, there are some landlords or property managers who are a little bit more lenient, and they will do 6 months. So from 6 to 12 months. So my suggestion and my recommendation is to find you a reputable realtor who works in that space. I actually went through a lot of different people who weren't able to help me because, again, I'm a little bit picky in what I want. So my budget, my desired location, and just aesthetic, you know? So it could be a certain price and I'm okay to pay it, but if it doesn't look good, I don't want it, right? So, and this is high season. So from November to April is high season. So snowbirds are coming here. People are trying to escape the winter. So prices hike up. You can find the same place for much cheaper for a later time in the year. Like if you were to say from May onward, right? So it's touch and go. First, I'm going to touch on research and planning. You got to start with your research first. So I'm going to tell you the platforms I used when it came to finding somewhere to live. So Facebook Marketplace and Facebook groups. Now, if you go on Facebook, you can actually type in Punta Cana and a plethora of groups pop up. Punta Cana everything, Punta Cana Airbnbs, Punta Cana rentals, Punta Cana travels, Punta Cana travel tips, Punta Cana, Dominican Republic, all of that. You can find that depending on where you want to live. Now, I'm living in Punta Cana, but you can find groups for everywhere. Santo Domingo, Santiago, Las Terrenas. YouTube. YouTube is so informative because if there's somewhere that you desire to live, you can actually find videos online and you can watch videos of other people and their experiences, and that's what I did. Facebook Marketplace, you can also find rental properties. Now, you got to keep in mind that everybody in Dominican Republic, they're realtors, they're brokers, they're trying to make a buck, they're trying to make a commission renting a space or whatever. I've heard the horror stories of people losing their money to people who are posing as realtors that aren't. They're just scammers. They're just trying to take your money. So you got to be very, very cognizant about that, right? Go with your gut. You can ask questions in the group. If you see a property on Facebook Marketplace, for me, I research the actual company and try to find information about them outside of Facebook. Do you have a website? Do you have reviews on the website? Have you worked with other people? How long have you been in business? Do you have an Instagram account? Because that adds credibility as well too, for me anyways, right? So you gotta do your due diligence when you find an actual spot. So Facebook Marketplace, you know, you can do Dominican real estate websites, expat groups, like you can get a sense of rental prices and options. Now, I have friends that live here I was able to connect with, and they knew my plans to come here, so they connected me with other people who knew brokers or brokers that they knew. For me, I found an amazing person close to the end of me having, like, when it was crunch time and I needed to find a place. I remember going online and there was a particular area that I wanted to live in, and I saw a posting and I reached out to her, and she was just so warm. She was just so kind. I think I sent her a message on WhatsApp because they usually have their WhatsApp number there. Sent her a message on WhatsApp and she was so sweet. She said, Francine, every broker has access to the same listings, okay? If you would have me be your dedicated realtor, I would love that. I will find you what you're looking for. Just tell me your budget, tell me what you're looking for, and I'll get it done, okay? She was so diligent, she was so professional, and I just felt safe with her in that moment. I just went with my gut, and I'm like, everyone else, it was just more transactional for them. For her, she really cared about what I wanted, and she listened. She found me an apartment, and I had my friend here go to the apartment with her because she lives in that area, and she went and she took a video, and I was like, oh my God, I like it, da, da, da. I was so excited, right? It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, there's a pool, it's a nice area. It's really the area, the area you would love to live in, okay? So then I thought about it. She's like, sleep on it, and I was gonna make a really rash decision. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sleep on it. You know, my friend sent me the video, and you know, she was like, it's cute and cozy, but she's like, for the duration of time you're gonna be there, I don't know if it will make sense based on the size, right? So I thought about it, and then I was like, you know what, I don't think that this is gonna be right for me. Like, something my gut was telling me, nah. And then I said, I don't wanna have buyer's remorse. If you know what buyer's remorse is, like, it's the worst feeling ever. So she's like, I understand, I appreciate that. Don't feel no ways, da 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 da. I'll keep looking for you. So a couple hours later, she sends me this property, and she's like, this is available, it's brand new. If you know me, you know that I love brand new. I wanna be the first to touch, to feel, to smell, to sit, to lay. I wanna be the first person. So that alone sold me. And then when she showed me the property even more so, I was like, oh my God, this is one of the properties that I looked for on Airbnb, that I actually reached out to the property manager, and the property manager ignored me, okay, twice. And anyways, she came, she sent it. I was like, I like it, it looks really nice, it's brand new. She came, she looked at it, she did a video, sent it to me. I'm like, that's the one. But I'm gonna tell y'all the drama with when I came here and all the issues I had in another video, okay? If you watch my vlogs, I share about the nuances and the challenges that I had in the first few weeks. Now, you know, things are good. We keep in contact to this day. Like, she is just amazing. So in order for her to be able to give me what I want and ensure that I was happy, I had to share with her my budget, the location. Do I want a beachfront, beach side, walking distance to the beach? How far from the beach? Do I want a city or a suburban area? You know, what are the must-have amenities? Do I want to be able to walk to supermarkets, grocery stores, all of that? All of that I told her. And because I was familiar with the area, I knew that where I was staying is walking distance to the nearest like mini market, or the beach was in walking distance. So that is important. So you also got to make sure that you know what you want and communicate that effectively. Security was also very important for me. I love that this property has 24-hour security as well too. There's a gate, there's a fob to come into the gate. You can walk in with use the fob to come through the gate, or you get a parking space as well too if you do own a vehicle. So I love that. So those are also things you have to factor in as well too. Security is number one. It's important. It should always be number one on your list. Now let's talk about neighborhood selection. Like I said, I knew the area because when I came here, I stayed a little further up, and I knew that this area made sense. So if you're looking for a tourist area in Punta Cana that has access to beaches, that has access to things within walking distance, because you're not gonna have a car, Los Corrales, El Cortocito is the area for you, and that's where I'm staying. The beaches are here. There's a lot of hotels in the area. There's a lot of restaurants. There's poppies that drive by. So if you're walking and you get tired, you can just hail a poppy and they'll pick you up. There's Uber that runs here. There's taxis. People want to give you a taxi ride on their motorbike. They're like, taxi? I'm like, no, it's okay, I'll pass. There's buses that are here too as well. It's close to like clubs, bars, restaurants, El Cortocito, Los Corrales. That's your spot if you are that person. But you also gotta make sure that you know what it is that you're looking for where neighborhood selection is concerned. Also, when it comes to crime rates, like when it comes to like safety, I feel safe walking outside when the sun's down. Now, mind you, I'm gonna use my common sense. I'm not gonna be walking outside by myself. I'm not gonna be walking outside by myself at midnight. Absolutely not. Why would I do that? You gotta make sure that you are vigilant and use your common sense. Use your common sense every time. It'll never let you down. Use your common sense. Also consider, before you go anywhere, look at the crime rate. As for me, I feel like Punta Cana is safe. I feel like more people die from casualties from like car accidents. You can research and see that. Yeah, I feel safe. I don't feel threatened in any way. I feel like I can walk up and down the strip and feel okay because it's busy. There's other people out there, but again, I wouldn't walk by myself at night. So here are some apartment hunting tips. Hire a local agent, real estate agent. A local real estate agent can help navigate the process and negotiate in Spanish if needed, because listen, there is such a thing as gringo price here. If you don't speak Spanish and you're not a Dominican and they know that you're a foreigner, the price goes from this to this. It is a fact. Research it. I ain't making it up. So your best bet is to get someone who is from here who can negotiate for you in Spanish. Inspect the property. Now, I know this is challenging if you're abroad and you're coming here. If you trust your realtor for them to actually look at the place for you, what my realtor did was she came to the property and looked at it for me. She did a video and she was like, do you trust me to do it? Da, da, da. I was like, okay, yeah, I trust you to do it. She showed me a video of everything and I liked it. Now, when you move into the property, sometimes there may be some things that are not the way they wouldn't have shown up on camera, right? It happens. However, inspecting the property is important. If you have someone who can go for you, or you can do a video call for them to show you the place. Call on WhatsApp and they can show you while they're doing that. She tried to do that, but the connection wasn't so good, the internet connection. So she just did a video for me and I trusted that she's showing me everything that I needed to see. So inspecting the property is very, very important. Always visit it in person before signing the lease. Check for plumbing, electricity, and water pressure issues. Also, ask about utilities and who would be responsible for that. My contract detailed what utilities I was responsible for, whether you're responsible for water, internet, electricity. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be responsible for electricity, because electricity here is ridiculously expensive, and the owner, property managers, do not want to take that responsibility based on your consumption, because how you choose to use the energy, that determines how much you're going to pay for electricity each month. So the rental process, and this was the rental process for me. So there is the negotiation process. Your realtor, your agent will show you the property and tell you what the price is. You can always negotiate the price down. Okay, say I'm staying X amount of time. Are they willing to take off a certain amount? A lot of times you'll find that a 1-year lease is a little bit less than a 6-month lease. So you'll find that the longer you stay, the longer your commitment, they're willing to take off a couple bucks. So once you negotiate your lease, you also have to discuss the deposit structure. Now, a lot of times here, I saw something that was consistent, is that they want 2 deposits and 1 month's rent. Now, it's not like back home when you do 2 deposits and it goes towards first month and last month. That's not how it works here. The 2 deposits are separate from your rent. So let's just say, for instance, you moved into the property on December 30th. You would have signed your lease and you would have given them 2 months equivalent. If your rent is $1,000 per month, you're going to give them a deposit of $2,000 US. You guys will discuss how they prefer to receive payment, whether it's through PayPal. You can transfer money through Wise. I find using Wise is far more affordable when it comes to converting Canadian to US dollars. Like, I saved like $300 in comparison to PayPal. Oh my God, ridiculous. You can discuss how they prefer to receive payment, what day the rent is due, and also in the contract, it'll tell you if your rent is late for a certain amount of days, then you have to pay a certain amount. So make sure that you read the contract. The contract, by law, has to be in Spanish. However, you are able to translate it. If you get on your phone, you literally can translate it in Google, or you can put it in Canva and Canva will translate it for you. And that's what I did. So make sure everything is there. When I got my lease, I had to change a few things, not too much. And I made sure that everything in there made sense. And once you accept that and you sign it and you send your deposit, now you're locked in. Now, once you get your keys, then you have to pay your first month's rent, and so on and so forth. At the end of your lease, if all goes well, because they take that 2 deposit, security deposit, in the event that you abandon the apartment, you cut your lease short, they will hold on to that money. If anything goes wrong, whatever the case may be, they do have that. Now, because I have a new property, I had to go through an inventory list of every single thing that they have here. So every single thing they have was accounted for. And because it's a newer space, it made sense, because you want to make sure that everything that you have here stays here when the person's gone. Made sense. So I had to go through that with my agent. So when I got here, I met with my agent. My agent had gone through everything. She's like, if you trust me that I did everything for you, then I'm like, yeah, sure, thanks. But I didn't have time to go through all that, because I had to go to the grocery store to get food, and I was hungry. It was a long day. Didn't want to do all of that. Now, before we got to all of that, I had to provide my passport. I had to provide income details. So they want to make sure that you have a source of income, that you're going to be able to make your payments. So they'll ask you for your pay stubs, or ask you for your notice of assessment, your tax, anything. Once they accept that, we move forward. So also, other costs to consider, I think I touched on this before, is electricity. Is utilities. You want to talk about that. Are there any fees outside of rent that you need to pay? Electricity, internet, water, maintenance, pay for parking. Is parking available to you? Properties further from the beach and further from the tourist area were a little bit more affordable, but because they were further, it means that I would have had to have a vehicle. Renting a vehicle here, it's not cheap. Okay, I've seen $1,000 for the month. It is not cheap. $30 a day, $45 a day. It's just a lot. And I'm sure if you have it for a long term, they'll give you like a monthly rate. But I wanted to make sure things were in walking distance. So if I need to go to the market to get something, I can easily take an Uber. I could easily take a Poppy. If I don't get a ride, then those are the options. I could take the bus. So you got to consider that. Walkability, you know, transportation, public transportation, easy access to get to the things that you need. There's like a mini market I could walk to. If I'm out of milk or I'm out of orange juice, I can walk and literally get it and come back. I love walking now because of the weather. I don't really care to walk any other time, but I don't mind walking, you know, like it's all excitement out there. I love the excitement sometimes. Lastly, I'm going to touch on the language barrier, local customs, and payment methods. So as I mentioned before, English is the native language in the Dominican Republic. Knowing basic Spanish will really, really help you. I watch YouTube videos and I practice. I try to practice every day, but I slack off sometimes. But the basics will really, really help you. Knowing how to say certain things, you know, knowing how to, if you go to a restaurant, you want to ask for more water. Necesito más agua, por favor. Right? But I need to say it with so much more vigor. But I need the accent. Local customs, like they're friendly people. They're really unproblematic. Dominicans are very unproblematic. They mind their business, okay? Be friendly, be kind, be respectful. And even though service time is an issue, when I mean, and like 10 minutes in Dominican time could be 2 business days. It could be 5, okay? So I want you to just set the expectation that you cannot expect the same thing when you come from Canada or America and come here, or go to the island, the Caribbean, period. Like, island time is a real thing. It's not just a cliche. They take their time. We're used to the hustle and bustle and get this done, get that done. We're used to sending an email and expecting a response right away. They're not like that. They take their time. They coast. Like, relax, calma, like tranquil. Like, please, when you expect something done, don't get frustrated. You need to pack your patience and your understanding, because you're gonna need it. And as you're here long enough, you'll acclimate to just the way things are done here. So bear that in mind. Patience is very important here. I needed a bucket and it took 3 weeks for me to get the bucket. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So keep that in mind. Now for payment, so my landlord prefers payment done electronically, and I love that because there's paper trail as opposed to me giving you cash. Now here, depending on where you're going and what you're paying for, cash is king. You want to just pay in US dollars or Dominican pesos. If you come from Canada, I learned this the hard way after losing all that money on that exchange rate. You do not have to purchase US dollars and then come here and change it into Dominican pesos. You can withdraw your money from Canada, bring it here, and go to the foreign exchange counter, and they will change the money for you. You can also, if you are proactive, you can order Dominican pesos in a certain amount at your local bank in Canada. So if you know that you're coming for a certain amount of time, you can get that changed. Now, being here, you are able to withdraw money from like ATM machines. I would say ensure that you use an ATM machine that A is attached to an actual bank, or I use an ATM machine that is located in, like, there's a restaurant called Dahlia's. It's very popular. People use it. You just make sure that the machine doesn't look like it's been compromised in any way. Make sure you are able to get a receipt The other day I wanted to take out money and the machine wasn't giving out receipt. I was like, no bueno. I need to get my receipt so I can see. Now, when you take money out of the machine, understand that there's a service charge that the machine, they're gonna charge you, and you're gonna get charged a service fee from your bank. Sometimes it's around $5 depending on your bank. So you can, once you take money out, you can also log into your bank account, which I do, just to make sure that the right amount was actually debited from my account. Now, I've been here for a while and I've gone out, I've gone to restaurants, I've gone to the beach, and I love it here. I love the weather. I know the first couple weeks I wanted to literally like end my lease, and I told my agent, I want to get out of here. The cupboard fell on me, okay? Came off the wall and fell on me. Make sure you watch my vlogs to see me talking about that. But I was just really frustrated, and I just was like, I want a new place, because there were so many issues. But I had to understand that everybody here, whether they're renting it, they're here for a bit, or they Airbnb, or they are actual owners, they're dealing with the same nuances and same issues because it's brand new. And we know how, even back home when you buy a property, it comes with problems. Like the builder has to come and fix things. I've experienced that, so I get it. But it's actually dealing with it real time that is really frustrating. But so far, so good. I love it here. If you do decide to relocate or come to Dominican Republic or Punta Cana, it's nice to kind of connect with groups like Facebook groups and connect with expat groups. You can go out and network and meet people so that you don't feel alone, so that it can help you with the transition, and so that you can start to feel like at home. I would challenge you to try to get out, you know, get outside of your comfort zone. You took a leap of faith and you're doing something that a lot of people are too afraid to do. But the fact that you're considering it speaks a lot to your character. And there's just so much on the other side of fear. Don't let fear stop you. It's something that I've written on my vision board, and it's something that I'm happy that I'm living in my answered prayers. I really am trusting the Lord on this journey. And if you like this content, I would say follow my journey here on YouTube. I post weekly, whether vlogs or informational videos like this. I will continue to share my experience here in hopes that I can inspire your desire to move abroad. So if you haven't already done so and you've made it this far, please hit the subscribe button. Please give me a thumbs up and like this video, and leave me a comment and let me know if you have ever considered relocating and moving abroad, and if so, where. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section, and do share this video if you care. Until next time, please take care, stay safe, and God bless. Bye.